All right, yo, what's popping? Welcome to the motherfucking neighborhood via mystical illuminations. Today we talking about boss shit. Today we talking about boss shit, and I got the boss bitch, Christie Aphrodite, with me today. Welcome to the very last of the series, mental health awareness pop up shop. I hope that you guys enjoy these. I hope that you guys have and will continue to enjoy these. Always remember to go back because this is the last of the series. I want to shout out all of the people that came, that have attended, that have been guests. I want to shout out Magic Mike, for putting this crazy ass awesome team together, and I also want to shout out Esco. Listen, Esco, you the motherfucking man, y'all. Like, if you need any type of graphics, make sure you reach out to fucking Esco. Dead part. So we're gonna just dive right into it. So y'all already know, whenever you come here, we got a mental stretch. And so to all the previous guests, if you're watching or when you watch, Christy she just had her call with me. So she was trying to tell me, she was like, what the interviews you have to, so she doesn't know my antics. So we're hopping into the middle stretch. Okay. So this is a two-part mental stretch. The second part will be kind of thick. It'll be kind of deep. I was talking to my sister as I laid on the beach today, and she was just like, "Oh, all your mental health things, they're so depressing. They're so," and it's and they are, because it's real life shit. Like, it's real life shit, and real life is not always peaches and roses. We got to talk about the gunk. We aren't here to make you feel good. We're here to really, really, really help you. So we got to talk about the good and the bad. We have to talk about the real life things that people don't want to talk about, because people don't want to talk about them. We have to be that voice. So it's not always going to be shits and giggles. Sometimes it's going to be some thick shit. Just stick around. Bring your pen and paper, because we're in for it. All right. So with that being said, two-part questions. All right. First part of your mental stretch, I want you to give words of encouragement to 2007 Christy that was upstairs in that house.
Shit. Oh, shit. That just gave me chills. What I would say to her is, you were right all along, and trust that. Yeah. Because part of the path of giving your power away to everyone outside yourself, is these things become habits, right? And so we end up saying, "Oh, I knew it," a lot, or "I told you so," to ourselves, right? So, and then going through all those different channels, giving my power away, even inside, there was still some small voice saying, don't do this. So yeah, that's when I found out I was right all along. I wasn't crazy for seeing the world as it is, not what they were trying to tell me it was. So yeah, that's what I would say. Little Christy, you were right all along. Trust that. And you got this, man. You're going to fucking make it. Oh, and it's going to hurt. And you're going to think you're not going to make it. In fact, you're going to beg. You're going to fucking beg for, like, dude, have sympathy on me. Let me tell you, there was a time where I offered to pay somebody everything I had to shoot me. Yeah, so I might have warned Christy that it was going to be that hard.
Yeah. But you made it, though, right? Yeah. but you here. That's the point, and that's
Life
the point.
Is nuts.
All right. So the second part of my middle stretch is because I had this happen to me before. And you don't know how it feels until it actually happens to you. I had a friend that called me. He was like, "Hey, Leanne, I'm about to kill myself." No shit. They're like, "This happened." I was like, "What?" He was like, "No, I'm serious." And I knew he was serious because we had been friends for so long. One of my really good friends. And so I knew he was serious. I knew what he was going through. And I was like in that moment, I had to pull myself together. That's a real life thing that happened. Like, I was like, what the fuck how do I stop this? Can I stop this? That's not my power. What do I do in this moment? And I was young, breathless. So this happened to me at a young age, and my friend was young. And so you want to know what? I called my dad. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I called my dad. I was like, "Dad, this," because I honestly didn't know what to do or say. So knowing that, and I'll tell you this, and I didn't share this with you, I was suicidal at a point in time in my life. I just wanted to end it all because I just felt weird. I felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like I didn't belong. So this is mental health awareness. We got to talk about the real shit, because I know if I feel this way and you felt this way, there's other people in the world that feel this way. But if nobody talks about it, it's taboo and nobody ever gets help and nothing in this world ever changes. So I'm going to talk about the uncomfortable, gunky shit, okay? And so that happened. So I was one of those people, and that shit happened to me. So what would you right now in this moment say to a person who just wants to give up? Give them, speak some life into them.
Okay, so first of all right, coming from somebody who felt that way and called upon her friends or pastors and everyone else, I first want to say what not to do. Because in this society, we are taught that feelings are bad, emotions are bad, these negative feelings. We get scared because we've never expressed them. So when other people, trust us enough to share their innermost, deepest feelings, like just because somebody says they want to die doesn't actually mean they want to kill themselves, right? Maybe there's a piece of them that's transforming and they haven't been taught. So one thing to never do is call the cops on him and get him hogtied. Because that will fuck up your friendship. If this person heals, this person is not ever going to trust you again. Because when somebody is reaching out to you with their most deep, and then you call a fucking hitman a stranger, and you say that that's because you care? Come on, dude. How many people have died on mental health calls? And getting hogtied and having your house fucking pounded open and left open while you're transported somewhere, being forceful, So don't do that. And don't tell people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just to interject, I had an ex, and he had PTSD. He had got into a car accident, blew his leg off. He just grew up in a real bad, whatever. And he was going through like really bad shit. Like he was just having a bunch of moments, and everybody was like, "Why won't you call the police on him?" I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, absolutely not. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Have you
never
ever
call the cops on someone you love? You know what I'm saying? In fact, you shouldn't even call them on someone you don't love. You just shouldn't even really be doing that. You should be handling your business like a fucking boss, right? And if somebody's reaching out to you, then you're who they want, right?
Listen, I'll tell you this now. I don't necessarily agree with what you said. You shouldn't call the police on somebody, because I'm from the hood, so I don't talk to the folk. I don't talk to the people. We don't call the boys. I hate them. However, they're like in law they teach you everything has an exception. So because a lot of people
in times I get it. Yeah,
but you gotta really know. You gotta really discern those times and be real about it and know the risk when you do that. Like if I call, I'm the type of person, if I call the police on you, I love you so much that I had to, and I'm willing to lose our friendship just so that you can learn this lesson. Just so you can be safe
too. Right.
Yeah, so
there's definitely that.
So it's different things. And so, because I know when people listen, I think thousands of years ahead. So I think when people listen to this, I don't want them to get stuck on
I'm not saying don't ever. Okay, that was a little passionate, but don't be calling on your friends.
No,
if your friends are raping you, okay, or your daughter or something like that, call the cops, okay? I'm not gonna fucking judge you. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody's reaching out to you, look. They reached out to you because they respect you. They trust you.
Yeah.
How is that not an honor that somebody is sharing? So it's not fucking unicorns and rainbows right now, but you're the one that they trust. So, yeah. Okay. And then the other thing to never do is don't try to talk people out of their feelings. We as the listeners have to realize. Sorry. Yeah. So we have to,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Like we both excited. Go ahead.
emotions are temporary, right? And they are based on something. So to be minimized and taught that those aren't good emotions, or lie and pretend everything's perfect when it's not. Like, dude, if your dog dies, or shit happens, you're supposed to be sad. You're supposed to be depressed. If something happens, look, and anger, man, they want to make you feel crazy if you have anger. The reason they don't want you to have anger or feel anger is because anger is what gives you the fuel to say, no, I ain't taking this shit, and then go behave a different way, right? It's suppressed anger. That's the problem. It's suppressed anger where violence explodes. It's not the emotion itself. So we as the listeners have to realize that whatever this person is going through is temporary. And, you want to listen to what they say, because more often than not, they just want to be heard.
Absolutely.
They just want to be
for help. They want help. Yeah. They want somebody to commiserate with them, just let them know it's okay. Like, humans like to know that other people, like, they're not alone. You know what I'm saying?
Just know that someone cares, right? Like one person. And if you call that one person and they're pretending to care while they're freaking calling the cops on the other line, and then, that's sneaky. That's like, here, friend, I'm here for you. I am really sorry you feel this way right now. I'm not going to try to talk you out of your emotions. I support your feelings and anything you want to do or whatever, but I am here for you. I am holding space for you. I support you. I love you. I will let you listen or cry and scream and cuss as much as you need.
As long as you need to at any time. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's so, I think, being accessible to people, that's the thing too. But like, you can't be accessible to everybody. It's a fine balance.
That's true too, because we all go through those kind of crises, but there's people who grow and there's people who are in the exact same place today that they were 10 years ago, complaining about the exact same things. And if that's the case and you've spent 10 years listening to the same problem, then you kind of have to probably cut that shit, there, and move on to somebody who actually does appreciate you and isn't trying to fucking suck you dry. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good around her.
I have this reader. Her name is Big Tasia Tarobate. I always shout her out. But she's a feel good reader. I love her. I watch her to reprogram my brain. Y'all check her out. She good people. But she has this quote. I was listening to her and she said, "I release those who do not try." That's it. If you're not trying, okay, that's fine. You gotta go. And so if I see you're not trying after like 2 or 3 times, that's it. And like, people think that's sweet. I literally, if you don't try, that's it. They'd be like, "Oh, you're so cold-hearted." Nah, because you're not trying. And I've grown so much in myself where I know that I can't be around people who don't try, because I will pick up that slack, because that's who I am. I don't change who I am.
Right. And then it becomes a cancer on you. But really, no, one of my favorite things to say, and in fact, I said it again this week, never do for another that which they refuse to do for themselves.
Ooh.
And I mean this in every way. Right. Yeah. Because I used to give everything, like, before I died. And I still do, right? But I did indiscriminately. And so it became a really good lesson to not cast your pearls before swine. And the people who really want it, they're going to find you and they're going to take your advice and they're going to implement it and you're going to see changes, right? And then there's others that just want to infect your space. Vampires are real. I'm just going to say that. Okay. Like, if for some reason there's somebody who still doesn't know that, like, there are people who live off your energy. So there is a fine line between being a good person who cares about everyone and letting it deplete your own health. And that's where we get into things like we talked about earlier today, autoimmune and stuff like that.
So,
But
so
that's a different video, I'm sure.
we can definitely go into it, but yeah, it is a different video. Okay, so really, and I wanna elaborate on this. So we're gonna come back because I feel like you still hadn't rounded out that question, but we're gonna kind of go into the interview now. You said, do not cast your pearls before swine, and I'm into synchronicities, and when I say I've heard that at least 10 times in the last 10 days. But from different people. So I'll ask you this. I have my understanding of what it means, but what does it mean to you when you say do not cast your pearls before swine? And we talking boss shit because bosses should know what it means not to cast their pearls before swine, because you can't be a boss if your pearls, because it's waste, and bosses don't do shit like that. What do you know what I'm saying? So what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So your gifts are not for everyone. And that's something that has been coming in really strong with me lately. And I know that when we achieve some semblance of wholeness or health or happiness or peace or whatever in our lives, it's our natural mode to want to share it, right? Because, my life is so much better now. I want everyone else to feel this way, right? But people don't want that.
Yes.
Okay, they will hate you for your success. They will hate you.
And that's the thing. I feel like that. I feel like my life is great. You can feel this way too. Oh, you're freezing, Christy. Go ahead.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm just saying, the more you improve yourself, the more others will react negatively around you, because it's a reminder to themselves of self-responsibility, which most people aren't really into, And so these are the people that will take up most of your time, right? And they don't implement everything or anything you do, right? So I learned the hard way. You can't just freaking vomit your gifts everywhere. And I kind of talked about that in one of the Earth School videos about censorship. And, maybe we're being censored because the other kids haven't gone through these classes yet. And we can't, we're not doing them a favor by helping them cheat, especially if they don't even know that that's a future. We're not all the same. And we're not all going to bloom the same time and place. And sprinkling your goodness around people who just don't want that. Again, we're not the same. Ticks will never be butterflies. Butterflies will never be ticks. Just because we're human and a different, we look kind of the same, 2 arms, 2 legs, organs in relatively the same places, we're not the same. So shut the fuck up, stay in your own lane, you know what I'm saying? And be there for when the seeker comes, right?
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Oh, that was a thick thing you said, and be there for when the secret comes, because so I talk about missing blessings and not missing blessings. You could definitely miss a blessing, casting your pearls before a swine and the seeker there, and you somewhere else. You with the swine. Fuck you.
Right. You're trying to, come on, listen, everything, and then meanwhile, there's somebody saying, God help me, and expecting a fucking teacher to walk by or something, all right? Somebody to care. And you know what? That person doesn't have to be a shaman or an astrologer or a card reader or any of that. Let me tell you, one of the chicks that literally saved my life, and it was like, this night was weird. So Spirit told me, go to this place. So I went to this place that I wouldn't be caught dead. And I was literally contemplating suicide. 7 different sets of people just walked up to me out of the blue and told me either I was beautiful or they loved my energy. I'm homeless, dude, middle-aged homeless, fucking haggard as hell, barely learning to walk again. You know what I'm saying? And then they asked me, and this one chick asked me how I was, which immediately brought tears to my eyes. And of course I wanted to run away, but she actually sat there and wanted to hear the answer.
And that's why good people exist. Like, and that's why I tell people, be kind always and always, because you never know what somebody going through. You never know what that smile, that good morning, that, like, you know, because I done been on the receiving end of, I have been in a position that needed somebody just to ask me how I was doing today. Like, you know what I'm saying? And people don't get that until you've been there.
Though. And want the answer, not just walk by, hi, how are you, and keep walking. Yeah. I mean, like, stop. How are you? I'm here for you.
Yeah. That's important, and that's why I tell people I'm kind, because people suck in this world. Like, the more, like, it's the opposite effect on me. It's like the meaner people are, the nicer I get. It's just like, damn, I didn't know people had that much pain in their life, so I need to love even harder. And so every time somebody's meaner to me, I'm even nicer. It has like, it's the sickest superpower ever. Like, I hate that shit. Like, because I want to be mean so bad. I want to be like, but nah, I just get nicer. Like, that's the way God made me, and I hate that shit. Like, I really do.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, for the most part, people who are not on a path of self-awareness or self-reflection, they love commiserating in others' misery and I can'ts and things. So when you are no longer in that space, then they feel threatened, right? They want to keep you there. In fact, dude, I had more friends when I was homeless. Like, people, it's just, I thought my friends would be happy for me that not only am I not homeless, I'm like actually like inserted right here in my fucking dreams that I've had since I was born. Yeah. No. Oh, you must be sucking somebody's dick, or oh, you must, be aged. Like, wait, what? So you really believe the only way somebody can go from homelessness to living their dreams is by selling out? Like, that's a limited worldview, and that's why you're gonna stay there. And have fun.
And I feel sorry for you. That's how I would feel. Like, and I feel sorry for you. I pity you. Somebody told me the worst thing you could do is pity somebody. I pity you.
It is true. Yeah. So.
Listen, it's bullshit. This boss bitches having conversations. Listen, y'all getting backstage passes to greatness. I hope y'all got y'all pen and paper now. Get note, because it's. You see, I got the water. All right. So we talked about casting pearls before swine. We talked about, so you have your own home and you have a garden in Arkansas. So you went from being homeless to having a house with beautiful land and garden that you made yourself. How you feel about that? Like, how that make you feel on the inside?
Honestly, I've been here. We're in 13 months now. And every day I'm like, holy fuck, I live here. Every single day I still do that. Ask my house partner. He's here a couple days a month. Like, or anyone that I
live here.
It's insane. And
do you feel proud of yourself?
I do, actually. I do. I do. But I also feel, it makes me more passionate about motivating others, because now that, dude, I was in a place I thought I had no chance to get out of. Like, zeros, none. Even with my delusional, hopeful fucking Pisces mentality. Even with that, I thought I had no chance. So what this taught me is that anyone can overcome anything, and I fucking walked it publicly, even when I didn't want to. Like, you can watch videos of me crying and begging for mercy and like, I'll never make it through this. And you know what I'm saying? So, and it makes me want more than ever to like share the truth that it really doesn't have to be as big a struggle as I made it. I would really love other people to not have to go through what I did, but at the same time, maybe that's really the only way to actually learn these truths, right? It doesn't matter what somebody says. It doesn't matter what you read in a book. Like, you have to live it to experience it. So I do hope that, since I happen to be the main character in this fucking badass movie that I'm in right now, you know, that I hope it helps. Because I tell people, be your own superhero. You know what I mean? So I hope that this shows people that they have the same power too. And I want everyone here. I want everyone to experience this. And I don't understand why they're not. That's so crazy.
I want to go on with you, so I'm gonna try to remember these. But you know, I smoke a lot of weed, so I forget. All right. So you said, like, it's not that hard. What do you mean by that? Like, because I don't think people get it. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, for a person who is there, it's not that hard. We make it hard. Like, we put ourselves, like when Mike was talking about the box, bitch, we put ourselves in the box. Plot twist. We put ourselves in the box, and we have to let ourselves out of the box. So it's really not that hard. Right. But what do you mean by it?
We are our own punishing God. We are our own judge, jury, and executioner. So we're taught that things have to be a certain way in this world, right? Like, you can't have a house unless you work some level of job with a certain amount of income and have a certain amount of credit, or all of these things, right? Which I don't have, by the way, okay? And I never had a credit card, and I've never had money. Really, you know, there were times where I had more money than others, or I could buy way too many pairs of shoes and suits and shit. But other than that, like, for the last, I was a single mom, you know what I'm saying? So you pay the bills and you eat top ramen or whatever. And that was also part of the reason why I learned a lot of the things I do, better, cheaper, healthier ways to get shit done, right? Because when you have to slim your bills, you know, obviously you start with cable and, you know, other accessories.
You ain't never had to slim your bills. You ain't really had to get it out the mud. Like,
right. Yeah. Like
what's the first thing to go?
And so then that's where you learn to make your own household products, or maybe your own medicine, or maybe you know, and of course there's other things in the way. And I'm getting off on a tangent and I almost lost your question. Please get me back on track.
Shit.
Because I was going somewhere, but I just lost it.
Boss conversations, don't worry. It was there for a reason. We're gonna watch this shit and laugh. All right. So it was another
question. Dude, somebody remind us in the chat. Dang it. Maybe I'll inhale one of my oils, stimulate my pineal gland.
I'm with it. It was something else that you said that I wanted. I told you I didn't know. I knew I was gonna forget it. I smoked too much. Shit. Damn, that's the thing about being a toger. Listen, your memory shit. Like, it's shit. Okay.
I got nobody in the chat remembers either. They're just fucking smoking and toking and shit. Or people, like, can you turn this shit down in the background? What's all that cackling?
This is what happy sounds like, guys. Okay.
Right.
I think it was about just people taking yourself out the box. How can we be happy? Shit.
How easy. Okay. So, okay. All right. So, and here's the thing. If I was told how easy it was 20 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it anyways. So I totally get that nobody wants to listen to me, especially when I talk this super simplified, basic bitch bullshit, right?
Hey, easy bitch conversation. I'm with it.
The house didn't come about because I had an inheritance or a sugar daddy or a fat bank account or a good job. Okay. When I started walking again, I was working minimum wage jobs, and most of my jobs, you know, I had a can. I put 10 or 20% of my income aside and tried to come up with a down payment. Then I met a best friend, somebody that I trust with my life. And so we share it, you know, even though he's never here. So, which is great. No, I love him, but he's, you know, works out of town. So it's just a place for him to.
Wait, you got super low. Hold on. You went down. Let me make sure it wasn't my thing. All right. Say something.
What up?
Okay, boom. Okay, because you went super low. Okay.
So, like, if I was told that I could literally design the life of my dreams without having to do it the way my mom or dad or news or pastor or somebody told me to do, maybe I would have tried some different things. So, I mean, here's the thing. First of all, you have to always do what fulfills your soul. Period.
Your story.
Your period.
Don't try to get somebody else's life. And
every time and I don't care how much you love them. Who cares what the fuck they think? Most people want to keep you down where they met you because then it makes them feel better for not doing anything with their fucking lives. All right? So if you're being drained in any way or you're in any type of unhealthy relationship, partnership, work environment, get the fuck out. Yes, you might be homeless. Yes, you might fucking live in a tent or a van or all those things I did. What the fuck around ever? You know what I'm saying? So self-love, literally, it's not this, oh, well, how can I, you know, chase another party or high or, you know, it's literally giving yourself the love that you didn't get or expected and wanted and deserved as a child. Healing that shit. And instead of looking outside for somebody to draw you a bath, you draw your own fucking bath. How would you care for your daughter? How would you care for your puppy? How would you do that for yourself? And when you do that for yourself, you don't say yes when you really mean no. Because every time you say yes when you really mean no, or take a job for a paycheck, you're giving away pieces of your soul. And when you're giving away pieces of your soul, you're giving away pieces of you're telling God to fuck off. Okay? And that manifests in physical dis-ease. What? You are. You're saying, God, I know better. When your intuition is screaming or your soul is telling you to do this and you go do something else, well, because society says I'm supposed to. You're saying, fuck you, God. I know better. I'm going to do it this way. All right. Well, good luck, my friend. And you know what? You can be suicidal for 35 years too. Been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
She preached in church. Somebody put praying hands in the comments because she preaching, my girl. You feel me? That's where we at. Your girl just took us to church. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no, you saying fuck you to God. I'm not. Listen, I'm about it, but I ain't never that about it. Fuck that shit. I'm Gucci. God had told me.
So there's that. So there's that, right? And follow your path no matter what. And then there actually is something to be said about the power of the mind. Okay? Yeah. Your mental state and spirituality coincide. So if this is your fucking sacred temple right here, how are you treating it? What are you, not just what you are feeding it and watering it with, what are you taking in? What are you watching on TV? What thoughts are you letting enter your head, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you believe that you're not good enough or you don't deserve it, then guess what? You're not going to. And in my path, in the homeless arena, look, dude, when I was homeless, I didn't have access to fucking juicers and supplements and handy dandy little, all these gadgets that I grew accustomed to in my pre-homeless days, you know what I'm, electricity, shit like that. How did I heal myself? I asked people. How? I didn't have the doctors. I didn't have money. I was living out fucking side in what people would say unsanitary conditions, which I don't see how nature is unsanitary, but what else? You know what I'm saying? So when we change our thoughts, we literally, the outside is a reflection inside of us. And I'm not saying that in a law of a fucking attraction bullshit kind of way. Okay. I'm not saying that. I am not going to minimize your experiences or turn this, you know, but there is, so you have to love yourself, your temple. Don't ye know ye are gods? right? Don't you know the sacred text is within? Okay, so fucking treat it like that to the best of your ability and see what happens. So not just your food, not just your drink, not just your media, but also your thoughts. What comes in your mouth, what or your ears, what goes out your mouth, what, you know what I'm saying? And that's not like some religious, you have to do it this way kind of thing, because the only thing that actually matters is pure authenticity, period. No more fucking fakery. No more, well, I really don't want to hang out with this person, but I am. Or I really hate this job, but, or I'm going to suck up to my mom so I can get an inheritance. Or, you know, or I'm going to marry this sugar daddy, or I'm going to, you know, dude, no.
Like, let me simplify this, and I'm about to fuck up the Christians too, because I went to fucking my dad's a fucking pastor. So like, let's be real. But it says, like Chrissy just said, don't you know you are gods? The Bible says, God said, don't put any other gods before me. He didn't say that there were no other gods. He just said, don't put any other before me. So you can be a god and God can still exist. A lot of people think because they're like, to say that they're a god is disrespectful, but nah, God say don't put yourself before me. You can be a god as well.
I'm not saying I'm God. No. I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, no, dude. But if God resides in me, if I'm a fucking piece of God and God resides in me, the spirit resides in me, then I better fucking damn sure take care of that shit if I want that shit to take care of me. Right? So don't I want this to be the healthiest, most sacred space for that most holiest, whatever it is I'm not going to try to define? You know what I'm saying? We're all little pieces of it. So I choose to take care of my piece of God.
Yes. Everybody. And that's what I think. Everybody matters. That's why I say everybody matters, because everybody is a part of this big ass puzzle. And if one piece is missing, the puzzle is incomplete. We got to start all over again. We got to wait till the puzzle come back into fruition and that shit. You know what I'm saying? So take care of your puzzle pieces, guys. Take care of your puzzle pieces. What else? Okay, so we talked about shit. I forgot what we talked about. Like that. It be like that. You already know how this shit go. Talk about a lot of shit. So moving forward, where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? You probably like he's like,
exactly right here. Right here. I see my food forest just in Church of Nature, just completely thriving. I would like to see, I always dreamed of a community, and the way I see this is that this is my contribution to a new, healthier world. I'm building back better with the resources that God gave me, and that's my ability to tend plants and animals and teach and utilize nature for our healing. So I really feel that I am going to be an instrumental force, food and medicine source for the community.
So I need you to write this down. This is yours. So one of the things
like I can't stop. I'm driven. It's my goal. It's my I feel like I'm building Noah's Ark in a way.
So am I. I love that. So I'll say this to you. Your hashtag should be Build Back Better. That should be something that you take with you. That should be your mark.
Somebody already used it. It's on the news. It's like I made a joke of a political slogan. Okay. So you see even less news than I do, apparently.
And let me tell you how I feel about this. Like, I want to be a politician. That's something that I've always wanted to do in my life. It's just a goal. Like, I kind of set my life up. I like it's y'all. It's interesting. I was talking to Di. She said how she put it is she said, we get to see you unfold. But I am like I really kind of molded my life in a. I made business decisions based on politics because I really wanted to get into politics. I worked for the House of Representatives and things like that. So like I love the news, but since I've learned the way, as you say, to manifest or to that how easy it is, I am very conscious and cognizant of what I put into my brain. So like I don't keep the news on at all, and so I feel like, and so this is how I really think of it. If we're talking bullshit, just me talking to you, when it's time for me to step back into that place in my life, when I decide to take my career, if I ever decide to take my career that way, I'll start back watching the news and get back involved in politics. Turn that part of my brain back on. But for right
Good
now,
luck with that, man. I haven't had TV in 16 years, and every time I'm like in a business or like a gas station or something that has a TV, I'm just like, or a hotel, you just like flipping. There's so many channels and there ain't nothing on. And to me, it's comedy. But yeah, I don't have a TV or.
Oh no, but I
am on Facebook.
I got Disney Channel. I started watching Disney Channel like when I bought my cable. Like they asked me, what channel did you have to have Disney? I will watch Disney Channel because it's just a childhood comfort. Like it just makes me like I can always just Disney Channel. That's it. I'll watch that. And I'll maybe watch some trash TV. Just especially when I've had a long day of maybe for downloads or thinking or something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna cut on some trash TV just to watch somebody be ignorant and express the things that I can't express, because we just talked about suppressed anger is the thing. So I get my anger out in different ways. That's my outlet. So, but not the news. I'm not fucking with the news. My mom gets so mad at me because I don't watch
that'll
that shit.
pollute your mind.
That shit.
I mean, it's MK Ultra. You know what I mean? They just repeat lies over and over and over and use fear-based, trauma mind control programming. That's what's going on. Like people, it's hilarious, especially in like alternative radio communities, and they'll talk about MK Ultra and act like it's just a handful of Hollywood celebrities, right? And it's like, nah, bitch. And the research is on my site, by the way. But it's like literally we've all been under MK Ultra like since the 50s. We can go back to soda fountains, and again, it's on ChristieAphrodite.com. So I'm not going to go through all that history, but TV, pills, that's trauma-based mind control. And that's why people who watch TV vote and do all believe those things, right? People who don't, like, we can still kind of think for ourselves.
And so two things. One, I don't watch it at halfway as much because it's not. Listen, this unpopular opinion. Black people are gonna hate me for this, but it's just not as entertaining now that Trump not president. He always kept that shit spicy. He always kept it. There's always like an episode of Days of My Life or Passions. Fucking.
That is true.
Shout out to fucking Cole.
That is true.
Best soap operas ever. Cosmic Drug. This season on Planet Earth is getting real spicy. It is. So I just wanted to say that, like. Trump did make America great again. Fuck whatever y'all like. We laugh. We never got so much entertainment out of life, and now we got fucking we joke here.
Now it's
everybody
boring.
Yeah, everybody like, oh,
can I get a refund of this really boring movie? Like, come on.
We still got Corona, but no entertainment.
I want a real pandemic. I want a real president. I want a real fucking, like, come on. Boring.
We want our money back.
Like, I got a Sag moon. You gotta fucking entertain me. You know what I mean? Or I walk quick. Like.
What'd you say? You broke up on me.
Oh, you were just quiet too. Huh? I don't know what happened. Oh, I was probably you need to entertain me because I have a Sag moon, or I walk out real quick when the shit gets boring.
It be like that sometimes. Like if it don't along immediately, like, oh, this boring, I'd rather watch paint dry. Goodbye. Like,
Right.
I'm with the shits. I'm always with the shits.
And real life
So,
is
and just
more
to
interesting.
nerd out on people, like, okay, hello, I see you moving again. Real life is more what?
Yeah, we're kind of having connection issues, I guess. Yeah, I just said real life was more interesting, and then I heard you talking, and then it was silent and frozen. Dang. It says I'm here.
I can hear you now. I can see you. Okay, all right. So I think we back up to speed. So all right. So really quickly, I'm gonna take this interview a little bit deeper. We're gonna go into our inner. We're gonna take a field trip on the inner workings of a nerd's mind. Okay. So one of my biggest things, I'm a nerd. I told you we're talking about brands and we're talking about things. I have embraced my role as the hot nerd. So I'm gonna nerd out on you for a minute. So I studied propaganda. So I first heard about propaganda in my 7th grade history class, and so I went down the propaganda rabbit. And oh, what a rabbit! I felt like Alice, just about how. And so there's also just several. So I watch documentaries as well. So they talk about how they use psychology, even with watching TV. They use psychology to repetitiously pound things into your head to make you buy things, to make you. And it's scientifically proven to work. And people don't understand that. So when we say start watching TV, because it's not good for you, like, no, really, they are like. They do experiments on humans and then put them on TV to hypnotize you or to make you to create habits within you to learn things. That's why the thing with the algorithm is really cool, because like there is an algorithm and you just have to know how to work it. Like the way, like if you say certain things or you get certain, like it's all very nitpicky. So I really like what you said. Like when you went back to, you don't watch TV because you don't like what's put in there. So that's why I'm very careful. I'm very meticulous with what I watch. That's why I say I watch Disney Channel. I watch Disney Channel with an understanding as to, the propaganda that's being placed in my head. Does that make sense?
Should I be a friend and lie, or a friend and tell you the truth? Disney's not controlled at all. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
Always tell me the truth. Always pick the truth, no matter what it looked like.
I've got too much Virgo. Okay. So I'm a party pooper, and yeah, if you let me, I'll rain on your parade. So sorry.
That's okay. I can dance in the rain. I love to dance in the rain. I'm from Louisiana. Water make me wet. I look good when I'm wet, boo. Listen, you can't out when the rain meets the shine. When the rain meets the sun, you get a rainbow, darling. So it's all, and that's, we talking Noah's Ark. Rainbow was a sign of hope. So it all came back 360. Let's go. Let's make it pop.
It's different, like watching these things in new eyes. But yeah, like watching these things as children and stuff, we didn't know that we were being programmed and stuff. But it's kind of, there's actually a lot of truth. And in fact, there's probably more truth in children's movies, well, and sci-fi, than there is, obviously.
I love sci-fi.
Anywhere else. Yeah, well, it's not fiction. They just call it that so they can put a documentary out there.
So humanity knows shit they draw. Got you. That makes sense. Do you think that not watching television has helped you in your success in any way?
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Like there's a real world out there. You know what I'm saying? Back in my younger days, and pills and alcohol and TV. Like, do you know how much time I could sit on that fucking couch or just never get out of bed? And you know what I'm saying? And let's look for another mystery, or let's look for, so yeah, it totally, I started climbing trees again. I started picking dandelions. I started camping, you know, doing things that, and that obviously increased my connection to nature and thus my healing. You know, if I stayed on the TV and the fear base and worrying about all this other, like, people who don't give a fuck about me, you know, and comparing myself to these people, right? Like growing up in Southern California. Well, I grew up in Southern California. So like
how was that? Were you a valley girl?
I was a 6-foot blonde on the border. So like everyone just thought of me as the model. You know what I mean? So like really the only place for me where I grew up and what my family encouraged was a lifestyle based on looks and, you know, the plastics. Like it was a total plastic world for me.
How was that world? Was it at least fun? Was it at least like, did you get a good ride out of it?
Dude, I've definitely had a lot of fucking fun. I ain't gonna lie, you know? I mean, but it was a great place to grow up. I just, when I moved to other parts of the country, I found out why people have so much time to get in your business in California. And, you know, when you're in Minnesota shoveling a fucking driveway, you don't have time to go fuck with your neighbor and just do stupid shit. And people like worked harder and just, it wasn't all about how I looked. And when I think of like my days growing up there and dude, at 6 feet tall and a size 2, even my own mother said I needed liposuction or to lose 10 pounds and a nose job. Yeah.
You bad now. I can imagine you at a 23. My ex would say that shit.
I was a skeleton. And in my mind, I just saw this big fat cow who was ugly and compared myself to magazines because that was the only word. That was the world that I was pushed into in school, you know? So as soon as I got the opportunity, I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here, you know, and it just, yeah. So getting off the TV and thinking that everything is as the world turns and you're supposed to be this and being reinforced with unhealthy lifestyles just, you know, wasn't appealing. So I took off on journeys even back then and ended up living around in a lot of places. And then I went back just to be reminded why I left.
Listen, this is so perfect for the Mercury and retrograde theme because that's the time of read. I call it, that's my time of read, to revisit some shit to remind you why the fuck you stopped fucking with it in the first place. That's how I think of Mercury retrograde. Like, oh, let me remind you why I left your stupid ass. Like that's how I think of Mercury retrograde. So, and I feel like as humans we have to double check ourselves. Just because we want to be sure. I think that if you're really trying to be, and we're talking about the type of happy human we are, because we don't want to make mistakes. We want to make sure we're doing the right things, and we have to revisit, and that's okay too. I used to think it was bad to revisit things, but I just want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. I want to, like, I think that's a boss thing too. That's a boss mentality, is to really, like, what a lady told me when I was like 20 years old. She was like, "It's not business. It's not personal. It's business." And so that taught me to separate my emotions from any transaction in life. And so I do that not only with jobs, but I do that with relationships as well, or things or mind frames. Like, is this something that I really should do? Or my godfather always tell me, measure twice, cut once. So I measure twice. And then once I make that cut, that's it. Because I measured you twice.
I needed you when I cut my greenhouse plastic last week, damn it.
And that's how I look. And people don't get that. People think that they don't understand that's what I'm doing. They don't understand, they like fucked up people know they fucked up. Dolo was saying that. Shout out to the flight boss, bitch, for sure. But he was saying that that people, fucked up people, know they fucked up. Like they can pretend like when they go home. Yeah, he said when they go home and they look in the mirror, they know they fucked up. They may never say it, they may never admit it, but they know. It's like you can't just like the universe can read your energy. Like you can't lie to yourself, even if you try to lie to yourself. because people do lie to themselves. So, but you know you fucked up. Yeah.
It is important to do a self-check like every day. You know what I mean? Because you'll always find new understandings, even into things that you think you know super well.
Yeah.
Right. So, and to check yourself, right? Is there still something else there? Like, right? You know, and healing requires, healing requires, oh, sorry. I think we're having a delay, and I am so sorry because that I am not trying to, sorry.
No, you're fine. We are both equally as passionate about this, so I'm excited. This is awesome. Don't ever apologize for being great. Like you just be like, bitch, I'm talking. Shut up. That's what you're supposed to say. That's some bullshit, bitch. I know you hear me talking. Shut up. I'm just fucking with you.
I think it's because we have a delay on the internet or something. Like there's a second lag or something in between.
I can see that. So I'll pause. But I did want to say something that you said. Bosses self-reflect. That's a thing I think a boss always does as well. A boss always ask yourself, am I wrong? And be 100 with yourself. Because I tell people, it's like going to the doctor and telling them you got a stomach ache when you can't sleep. Like lying about it ain't gonna really, it's not gonna change nothing. You have to accept it. Only then when you accept it can you change it. So my first question is, in any transaction, in any relationship, in anything is, am I fucking up? Am I tripping? And sometimes you have to have that trusted counsel. Sometimes you can't see because you in the mess. You have to be like, yo, am I fucking tripping? And sometimes your friends will be like, yeah, you tripping. Or sometimes they're like, you're not tripping. You actually thinking logically, but you gotta. I say it's important the people you have around you, because you can't have everybody around you, because that's just like TV programming. What they say to you, they negative thoughts that they say to you, whether you want them to hear them or not, they already implanted in your brain, and deprogramming that shit hard. So be careful who you have around you, because they working too. You can only have people it's a difference between having like yes men that people tell you what you want and having real ones around you. A real one know how to talk to you. A real one know how to tell you the worst fucking ever, but in a way that's not mean or demeaning.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, if you're going to be a boss, you have to be like, it's not being a boss over other people. It's being a boss of yourself, being accountable to yourself, and being able to communicate things that normally most people wouldn't. Right. And like you said, it doesn't have to be in a bad way, but if you're hurt, admit it and like open up your feelings or whatever. And how can we fix this? Or, as well. And I think a lot of relationships are destroyed because people don't, mention if they feel slighted or something like that, because they're afraid that if they bring it up, if they're trying to be their own boss and trying to set their own boundaries or assert how they feel, that people are going to think they're mean or bitch, sit down, or what I'm saying? Especially being a woman too. You're not allowed to say, like men who abuse people are like socially revered, right? But if a woman just stands her ground and says no, then she's a fucking witch and you got to burn her. It's like such a crazy imbalance with what we're allowed to say. Men, when they have something to say to each other, dude, my brother and his friends used to fucking, I'm not joking, fight, gouge their skin off their face, bloody gangster fighting, okay? And at the end of it, they shook hands and hugged, and they were fucking friends and moved on with their lives as friends still. You know what I'm saying? Like cats, they say how they feel, they kick your fucking ass, and then you can move on, right? Like you get it over with. Where we're taught to just like hold it in and wonder and not say, and then it manifests in physical dis-ease. What are you not at ease with, right? And that's the shit that we haven't said. That's the shit where we weren't accountable to ourselves, or where we said one thing and did another, or cared about what other people, strangers, fucking thought about us more than what we felt about
seen
us.
you before, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I fuck with it. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. All right, so if you could ask me one question, what would it be? And I'm gonna answer it.
just one. I want to interview you. I want like a whole bunch of questions.
All right.
That's my question. Can I have more than one question?
Yes, absolutely, 3.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, cool. All right. So, what was it for you that made you realize that what you thought about health or mental health had to change?
I don't know. Shit. I really think I've been a huge mental health advocate for quite some time because I struggle with mental health myself. Like just personally, nothing I ever really talked about, but I struggle with it. But it wasn't until I had a fiance, the vet that I was talking about. It wasn't until him that I decided that it was my job to carry the torch for mental health awareness, because I get teary-eyed when I think of him, because this guy was like everything. He was my Prince Charming. They tell you that you never get a Prince Charming in this life, and he was my Prince Charming, but he had demons. He had things that he just fought with. And so I have this tattoo. It says "Behind Enemy Lines." That's something he used to always say to me. And it's just an army reference and so I feel like I was built behind enemy lines. It makes sense to whoever it makes sense to. But we ended up not getting married because his mental health, it won him. Like he was fighting things, like he just wouldn't take help, and you can't you can't make a person take help. As much as I wanted to help him, as much as I wanted to love him, and I wasn't going to call the police, but it was getting to the point where I was going to have to, you know what I'm saying? And when it got that serious, and remember I told you my quote is, "I release those who do not try." He wasn't trying. Had he just been trying, it would have been different. But he didn't try, so that definitely made me pick up the urn and say, I suffer with little things like this, and I feel like, people can just get over that, but it's people who can't. And like I could tell you every time that I didn't call the police on him, he needed the love that I gave him. And he's a no matter what happened in his life, he's an awesome person. And but I know he showed me how real mental illness is. So when I had to kick my fiance out of the house, that's when it really hit for me. No matter, because I struggle with a lot of stuff. I told you I wanted to kill myself and things like that, but it wasn't until then that I realized how real it was.
All right. Wow. Okay. So do I get to ask the next question now?
Yes, go for it.
How should mental health be treated?
With love and compassion at all times. At no time I don't give a fuck what's going on. When I said in my recent video, you can't fight people that can see. If you're a blind person, if a person is blind and you're the one that can see, why would you fight them? Unless you're just a stupid idiot. I mean that. There's no other way around that. I mean every part of that, just like I said it. To take advantage of a person who has a disadvantage is fucked up. And I don't fuck with that. I don't fuck with that part of life or anything like that. So I think you should always show love. And it's hard. What I will say is it hard? Yes. Will you want to punch him in the throat? Yes. Will you want to stab him? Yes. Will you want to do all of the things you can to him? Absolutely. But you have to choose not to. That's the mental power that you have. It's a simple choice. That's the difference between one life or another life. That's a quantum leap. But just choosing to take care and love people in those moments. Those are the most precious moments. Those are the life-saving seconds. When somebody comes to you in that moment, the only thing you should ever do is love them and give them, try to drown them in your love. Try to love them so much they want you to get off with them because you loving them so much, and don't stop. Don't ever stop. If they go away and come back, give them some more love. They go away and come back, love on them some more. And if they come back with the same thing and you know they really got a mental illness, love on them some more. Now, it's not to be confused with a fuck boy or a fuck girl who just do fuck ass shit.
Right.
Don't get that twisted. But it's really people who have mental illnesses. So, so there's that. That's how I would handle it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't say that lightly because I know how hard and I know how dangerous it is. But for the ones I love, every time, so.
If you were the director of a mental health treatment program, what would it look like? What would it entail?
Oh my God, it would be so fun. It would be the funnest thing ever in life. It would be like if I'm gonna speak it into existence. So if I don't do it, somebody else do it sometime in life. But it would be like each person coming in, because it would be something only I can do. I would talk to that person. I would have, just like I had a conversation with you before we had our call. I would have a conversation with each of those people, and then I would create a program for them based on our conversation for whatever it looked like, whether it looked like taking vacations, whether it looked like more self-love treatment, or whether it looked like I need to get some education, whatever it was. I would create a plan for that person. I would give them housing, and then I would allow them they can either stay there or they can go to, because a lot of people, especially with mental illnesses, one of the biggest things that they don't want is to be controlled by other people. So to put them in like a housing group, that wouldn't make them feel comfortable. They need some reality to grab on. They need to feel like they have something. So I would give them like a housing stipend, like a house that they can live in, that they will be responsible for, so they don't have to worry about because a lot of problem with mental illness is people worry about money. They don't take the time. So you don't have to worry about anything. I would take your worries away and allow you to get to where you want to be at. But that's why I said it would have to be me doing these interviews, because I would get the answers out without directly asking the questions. And so I would mold different. And so that's what it would look like. And it would be a program. And so by the time that they got out of the program, they would be able to, like, you would have to meet X, Y, and Z qualifications to get out of the program. And we, like, let's say you get out the program, we give you like a brand fucking new house and a brand new car, because you deserve that shit. And it's not something that somebody gave you, but you got it because you worked on it. All of that plays into the mentality. So it shows you that you can accomplish things. I'm gonna reset your mind for you. You're gonna come here and get a mind reset. And then once that mind is reset, we're gonna put you back and help you continue with that mind reset, knowing that like we just talked about, you're going to revisit some of those old habits, but when you're back there, we're going to be waiting for you to tell you why you need to continue to go forward. So that's something that I would love to do.
That's beautiful.
I'm a super nerd like that. I'm here for it. I'm here to change the world.
What do you think of my mental hospital?
I love it. I think your house, because that's kind of really where I got that idea from, was looking, because that makes you happy. Like, that makes you glow. That's your happy place. When I told you I was going to the beach, you said, well, I want to go to my happy place. And you went to your mystical forest. And if everybody could go to whatever their version of their mystical forest was every day, don't you think they'd be happier?
Oh yeah,
I want to help.
That's like part of self-care, is to do something that makes you feel good, right? Like, we're always spending time and how do we make someone else feel good, but who's making you feel good? And chances are, if you're the one making everyone else feel good all the time, there's nobody there to make you feel good but you. So that's, again, you got to be your own boss and give yourself what you need. So whether that's the beach or the garden or the goats or whatever, you know what I mean? Music or boxing, right? Or painting or crocheting or whatever it is, you know. We like make time for yourself, right? Again, and it's not just for you. You are the caretaker of this sacred temple. You were gifted, right? So if you look at it that way, at least for me as a servant, it's easier for me, because if I'm just taking care of me, then it's like I could easily come up with a million excuses of better things to do, right? But I'm taking care of the vehicle that fucking God lives in, and that's a pretty high honor. So I don't know if that will help anyone in their self-care routine, right? But if you want to be closer to God and hear the spirit, or get out there in nature, take care of yourself, go to your happy place, right? Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
you know, whatever that is, and create, you know, whatever it is you're doing, do something, like have a hobby, because that's also where spirit talks to you. So
Yes, that's what I learned. So I recently started back walking. I stopped walking. I moved. So I moved to houses. And I just was in a new neighborhood. My fiance left. And so I just got down in the dumps. And so I did start working out, but I was in the gym. Something happened, pushed me out. I stopped going to the gym, and it made me start back walking. And listen, that's my meditation. Like that's my meditation. Like as long as I'm walking, I'm like, oh yes, stuff is popping. I have so many, like I'm a creative person, but like my creativity has really just been stumped. Like I'm like, but I got back to walking, and it just started kind of coming back to me. So I think that's important to know what thing that you do that helps spark your creativity.
Walking's awesome, because you're not just walking and just getting your blood flowing and oxygen and your cells moving. It's not even just that. On an energetic level, you're basically telling yourself to move forward, right? So whatever it is, you know, as you're walking forward. So, and whatever you're thinking about when you're doing that, or whatever comes in your head, like you're already doing that forward motion to make it happen, right? So it's not just the physical, but like even a stroll, you know, it doesn't even have to be like hardcore kick-ass unless you like it like that, right? Adrenaline, there's shit to be said about that. And you mentioned accomplishing things. When you accomplish something, anything, however small, that's proven to release serotonin, right? And dopamine. So
sorry, my hotel manager needed to know something. My bad. Okay. What were you saying?
That's okay. No, I don't even remember. I just blah.
All right. Well, one more question for me, and then we'll wrap it up because we're rolling up on time.
You're gonna ask me, or I?
No, you can ask me one. Ask me.
Oh, I get 4 questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, another one. All right. Well, I only had 3 in my head, so now I got to think.
You got to stay ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Well, okay. So, how controversial do I want to be?
I'm here to answer the questions. No matter which way.
Well, because if I ask this one question, then it has to lead into another question. So I don't.
Let's go.
Okay. Do you believe mental illness is what they say it is?
What do you mean?
Well, they say it's an invisible illness, basically, that is caused by a chemical imbalance, that they have no idea how it happens. Do you believe that that's true?
Going back to my fiance, so he had medicine they used to give him medicine. So he explained to me, because he was smart like me. So he talked to me. He knew how to talk to me. So he was just like, this is what they say the medicine does. And it was for a chemical imbalance. Do I think that mental health is a chemical imbalance? I can honestly say I don't know, but I do know that it's not an invisible. It's very visible if you know what you're looking for. But a lot of people don't know what they're looking for. It's visible to the trained eye, and maybe it's invisible to the right people. But it could be an imbalance. I don't know what it is, but I know it's real. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you got it. I don't care what it is. Real, and that's just the thing. And it's not invisible. Not to me, anyways. I wish I wouldn't have seen it, but it is. So there's that. So what's the second part of your question?
Well, I guess I just figured you would say yes or no, which would, yeah.
Okay.
So, but you didn't say yes or no.
Let me tell you. So listen, well, I was telling a young girl yesterday. I said I went to law school and said I've been trained not to answer. Well, I can't answer questions in yes or no answers, but I know, like I'm the type of person that has to give. So what they train you is to say give. You never say yes or no. You say yes and you give your explanation, or no and you give your explanation. So like I told people I'm a robot. Like law school broke me. Like I don't mean to be this way. I was like we go back to training and propaganda. They fucking trained my ass. Absolutely.
Right. Well, yeah. If everything they put there for us is propaganda, perhaps what they want us to believe about mental illness is also propaganda, because according to their own literature and studies and published reports, they have never proved, there's no test. They have never proven a chemical imbalance. In fact, the only chemical imbalance that's ever been proven is that which was induced after the pills were introduced.
Yeah. Because the pills make them unbalanced, and I believe this. And okay, so really quickly,
and then there's orthomolecular psychology, where when we're not getting proper water and nutrients, we act in ways that can be considered mentally ill. We're a society based on trauma. From the time we were born and you were snatched from your mom, or had were circumcised, or ooh, you know what I'm saying, or shot up with something, or so I believe that pretty much everyone alive suffers from varying degrees of mental illness, and how far it goes is how much we feed it or allow it, because
yes. So I'll say this, because when we were talking prior to this call, you talked about, you're like, I kind of have this thought. You were talking about how a lot of mental psychiatrists or psychiatrists, they try to tell you you're not supposed to feel depressed, or you're not supposed to feel alone, and they give you these pills to kind of suppress that thing. I like my ex, when I was talking about, I just talked to him, and he made a snide joke about me not wanting to take antidepressants. And I took that. Let me tell you, I did it when I was in college. Let me tell you something. I don't even remember that fucking semester at all, but I had the best grades ever. Yeah.
Do you know how much missing time I have from being fucking drugged up like that? Hello, MK Ultra. I'm going to bring that up again, right? So the pills, the TV, the repeat, and that's why we are a traumatized MK Ultra society. So I'm yeah. I'm like you. I'm very like you in that I like herbal things. Like I only drink herbal tea. I don't drink any caffeine. Now I will have, because this lady kind of put me on, I will have chocolate. I love chocolate. Chocolate is like, that's my my yeah, it's just and chocolate, dark chocolate is good for you actually, but not at a rate that I eat it. But that's just nerdy fact. But shit, I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
I wonder how many times we lost our train of thought this fucking interview.
Not enough. We should do it again.
Thanks. Thanks.
But yeah, we've been lied to and we're gaslighted. And like people go to the doctor for a thyroid issue and they offer them an antidepressant. And those pills have been linked to diabetes, heart disease, cancer, suicide, violence, and things like depression and anxiety and bipolar were never associated with violence until after the pills are introduced. And each of these alleged shootings occurred by people on those types of pills. So
and I can see
we're not told the truth about what mental illness is or isn't and how to treat it properly.
My ex was on them pills, and let me tell you, them pills, when he took them pills, he used to lose it. They used to hate when he took them shits. Like, but he say they helped him. Huh?
I was lifeless. I'm gonna see if I can find like an old picture album of me and show you my eyes. I don't know if they're here or if they're downstairs though. Let me look down here.
Skywalker Tree said I was talking about a clean diet, but how did I get to the clean diet? What was I talking about?
I don't have exactly what I'm looking for, but here's a good example. Look at these lifeless eyes. Oops. Isn't that fucking ugly?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That was my pills. I hate myself days. I hate lying.
You? I didn't know that was you. You look like a completely different person. Yeah, you look like life had been out of your face. Like you look like where
I was hoping to find this other album I have, but this is not it. So that's like, oh, here's some more lifeless, dead soul, dead in the soul, dead in the eyes, soul.
Yeah.
Like does that look like a happy person?
Mm-mm. You could tell what happened look like. You could tell what happened feel like. It's all in the eyes.
I don't know where my album is. I'm sure it's downstairs, but that's good enough, right? You know, I feel so much more. And I was only like 28 or something in that picture.
But you look fabulous though. A lifeless eyes and all. You still was snatched though. You still was bad.
So
though.
I'm a hot body and an empty vessel.
And an empty soul.
How
yep.
You know, and I realized if I spent as much time enriching my soul and trying to feel good or accomplish things, or even half the time that I spent thinking that I had to look like a certain thing, what kind of knowledge would I have held if, you know?
Yeah, like how much would I know if I would have learned this shit earlier? But you know,
hours in the mirror with, oh my God, this hair is out of place, my whole day is ruined kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like teenage and college and 20s, those kinds of years. Like, that's ridiculous, you know? But I think we have to get real with the fact that this is a culture based on death worship and self-hate. And they want you to hate every aspect of yourself. That's why they sell you a product for everything. Yeah. And again, because God fucked up, so you have to shave this hair, and God fucked up, so you have to cover up this odor or your body's natural process to perspire. And, you know, you have to put on nylons and heels, and you have to constrict your blood, cause lymphatic constriction and breast cancer by putting on bras, right? You can't constrict your lymphatic system. That's the sewer system in your body. That's why countries where women don't wear bras don't have breast cancer. It's simple. You know what? But we hate ourselves. So we think at 50 fucking years old, we got to stick our goddamn boobs up to our Adam's apple, you know, so we can look like a fucking 20-year-old because we're not good enough. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. I think everything that we're taught, you know, and both sexes, but I'm a woman, so obviously I can speak from a woman's perspective, and the self-hate that we grow up with And I think when that's addressed, like when girls, boys, children are taught that they're okay, everything about you isn't wrong, you don't need to cover up your humanity, right? Like everything you do is a sin. And God, you know, like look at the programming we're like bombarded with. Of course we're gonna hate ourselves and become a traumatized society that doesn't know ourselves.
If we don't hate ourselves, how they gonna make money? You know? So there's that.
Right. We hate ourselves and hate everyone else. And yeah, it's what keeps the world going around, I guess.
I don't even worry about nobody else. I'm so infatuated with myself. It should be a sin. I should probably call somebody and get help, bitch, because I just love myself so much. Like, that's how I feel like everybody love themselves, though. Like, listen. Like, I be like, look at me. Do you see me? Do you see this bronze skin that I have? Like, do you see this? Like, look at me. I look like a fucking snack. Like, who I get to wake up to me every fucking day. Like I'm honored. That's how I feel about myself. And I feel like everybody, if you don't like to wake up to yourself every fucking day, then you ain't living right.
Or just do something different until you do, right?
Yep.
So lose the shame, lose the blame, and it's a process. You know, I'm not just saying it like, oh, you just like make this decision one day overnight and everything's rainbows and fairies. I just want to make clear we're in 2021. So this is 14 years of straight making my healing my number one priority. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Like if you expect it that you're going to traumatize yourself for 30 years and then you're going to heal yourself in a week, it ain't. And if you think that I'm healed now or that there's no more healing to do, you're also mistaken. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be something, but everything is a lesson. And when you start to look at it like that, or if you're like, I was an athlete, I'm in a sports museum. So I was always kind of super competitive or grew up like that. So instead of competing with the outside world like they wanted me to, I started competing with myself. And so I looked at obstacles like challenges, or as Sherry Cortland said, in windows of opportunities is what she calls it. So you can face the demon and, stand strong and keep walking forward, or you can see the demon and get scared and fucking run. And then you end up doing the job for the demon that ain't even there anymore because you're torturing and traumatizing yourself because, oh, I should have, or I wish I could have, or I really want to, but, you know what I'm saying? So,
I like to make they demons. I realized a guy told me one time he ain't had no demons. I said, like, I should have realized then it was a red flag, mayday. Listen, everybody got demons. Everybody got good and bad. Whether you acknowledge them hoes or not is on you. When you don't acknowledge them, that's that anger. That's that shit. Them motherfuckers take over. You capable of anything. Right. You don't acknowledge.
You don't even, like, demons sound scary, right? So of course you're like, well, I don't have any demons. I don't do, deals with the devil or whatever. But really, it's your skeletons. It's your lies. It's your insecurity. It's your self-doubt. All of those negative thoughts are demons, right? So their job is to trip you up. Your job is to beat that. So whatever cross you bear, no matter how difficult life is or whatever, turn it into a challenge. It's, do your pity party. Please have your pity party because you have to cry it out. You have to cuss it out, punch it out, whatever you have to do, right? Have your pity party and then wake up the next day or next week or next month or however long it takes you to process, right? And then you move forward, right? Pick yourself up. This is a challenge. I'm going to beat this. Otherwise, what the fuck else are you here for? Are you really here to watch the Kardashians or watch someone else be a hero? You watch fucking superhero movies all the time. Be your own superhero. Those tests are challenges to show you what you're worth. Otherwise, you're going to keep thinking Superman's the only one that can fucking fly. Guess what? You can fly too, but you're not going to know it until you jump off the fucking building. If you don't jump off the building and you keep fearing that there ain't going to be a net there, then you ain't going to, there's your mental illness, right? When you're in alignment with yourself and your true purpose and living every moment to nourish again your path, your honor for being here, that's when you're on the path of healing. And that's where you will have all the power to heal every single thing that comes your way at any time. And this is not a joke. This is a promise.
She said, not a joke, it's a promise. It's a promise, my friend. That's what she said. That's what she was trying to tell you guys. She just gave y'all some bullshit. I'm gonna put hashtag bullshit. Hey, you really like, and then she light a blunt because she like, you gotta smoke that shit off. Sometimes you gotta smoke it off. Bullshit. So thank you so much, guys. This has been a conversation with a boss. And we talked about boss shit. This is what boss conversations look like. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Christy, you got anything you want to say to the people before I do the thank yous and whatnot?
I don't remember. Did we do our you said we had some kind of game that you played. That was the
mental stretch. That was the mental stretch. We got it. That was the what would you tell you?
Okay. So I'm like, dang, all right. I don't want to miss no games, Sag likes to play.
That was it for you. That was your mental stretch.
So what else can I say? What I can really say is what I think I already did. Be your own fucking superhero. I know you might not believe it, and I totally understand because I did not believe it either, okay? But you literally do have every single thing you need inside you. You have the power to change your circumstances. Sometimes you can wave a magic wand, but not really. It takes work. It takes your actions aligning with your words, okay? And if you're already in a miserable place and already feeling like the world is against you, well, then go with that. They already fucking hate you. So what better opportunity than to be yourself? Because nobody's fucking looking anyways, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and then practice it, and life will give you opportunities to practice standing up for yourself, setting boundaries, saying no. And let me tell you, my law of attraction to make shit start happening was fuck off. It was literally fuck the fuck off, you motherfucking Nazi cunt, and suck my fucking dick. That was my law of attraction, and learning to say that way sooner. Don't play nice with vampires under any circumstances. You are here to serve you and your creator, whatever's inside of you, right? If God is within, or however you look at it. Those are just words we use loosely. You know what I'm saying? Call it whatever you want. Whatever that is that created you, that's what you're here to serve. Honor your path, no one else's. And own that shit. There you go. And you can do it, man. I swear to God. If you think you can't do it, you call me and I will remind you. And I mean that. All right?
That part. That's what mental health awareness is about. It's the last day of mental health awareness month, and I'm glad that we ended up pushing it back. But I think this was the perfect time. I got to go to the beach before we hopped on here, and I sat down in the water and let the waves really rush over me. So it put me in a serene place.
Nice.
I'm excited. I got to chop it up with Christie Aphrodite. So Aphrodite, that's a Greek goddess name. So do you have any Greek goddess knowledge, or like what? How do you feel about Aphrodite? I know we're wrapping it up, but how do you feel about that being your last name? That's a powerful last name. That ain't no name.
It's so weird. So it was my grandmother's name.
Okay.
And like growing up, you just, okay, well, it's some goddess, that it's cool, right? But I didn't really feel that I could carry it on until probably about, I don't know, I wrote a blog. It was probably like in 2009 or something, Aphrodite Christina blogspot or something, where I finally accepted. So I know people think what they think when it comes to goddesses or goddesses' names, right? And so when they hear that, they think, oh, are you some love goddess or some sex goddess, or, you know? And in alternative media and healing arenas, there were a lot of predators that really took it that way and expected it like that.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That's
And
crazy.
on the other side, there's a lot of women that play off that, and they say, oh, I'm a healer, but then they really just want to fuck you and take your money. And it's prevalent in those circles. I'm just saying, I've been around a long time. So it's not any of that. It's a name. Yes, I have obviously Greek lineage. I've had it in my family for many lives. It's the part of me that I feel the most closely associated to, you know, my grandma. But yeah, so if Aphrodite is associated with Venus, and if she represents love and beauty and harmony and abundance and fertility and procreation, then I probably do align with that, because I believe love is truth, and that's what I do. And I spend my life creating abundance, not for I don't even know who, right? With my garden and food forest and things like that. Although I'm not having babies or even doing the things that cause having babies, I am obviously fertile with my vision that I am bringing forth, you know, procreating, right? So, yeah, but knowing the goddess, this should actually be a whole nother video, because it's not what we read on Wikipedia, right? And so
That's all I know is Wikipedia, my girl. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to be a beautiful sex goddess or anything like that. In fact, there's nothing that I do that is trying to make me look pretty or attract anyone or anything, right? But I believe in creating beauty with everything I touch and
Absolutely.
do. But, you know, there's also a side that I will protect the beauty and peace and abundance that I've created. So we used the term earlier, liberate. I will gladly liberate anybody that interferes with the harmony I created. You know, it ain't all about like peace and love and light, baby, all the time, you know?
Not all the time. That's what people don't get. They think we all fight all the time. Yeah, okay.
Right. Like if you create your fucking kingdom, you should protect it, right? Otherwise, again, it's not just me. Like I have a dream, I have a vision, and honestly, everything I've done in my life was because spirit told me to. And I just do what I'm told. And I listen happily and execute to the best of my abilities. Someone's asking, aren't you a Virgo? Yeah, so I have Sun, Mercury, and Mars in Virgo in my 6th house.
You protect that shit. All right. So we already over, but I just wanted to say thank you so much again, Christie. I appreciate you. This was a blast.com. I want to shout out everybody who has participated in these with me. Thank you for indulging me with all of my questions and my antics. Shout out to Magic Mike. You already know. Shout out to fucking Esco Productions. Make sure you get all your graphics, intros. If you need intros, you need graphics, you need photos, whatever you want. He got it, and it's gonna be the best thing you ever had. It's gonna be like nothing you've ever seen before. So make sure you get his exclusive hot shit, hot fire. With that being said, thank you for coming to the motherfucking neighborhood via Mythical Illuminations. This was our mental health series. We did what is it? Balance, body, beauty, and boss shit. We appreciate you. And with that being said, we will see you next Mental Health Awareness Month.
Bye. Thank you.